I could imagine Abraham saying, come on, God. First of all, I commend Abraham because if it were me, I would have probably deduced that the God that I serve don't go around demanding human sacrifices. Those are the heathens. They do that kind of stuff. So this whole voice, this whole stuff about me killing my boy, it's from the devil. I reject it out of my mind. It would have been easier to have said that. But Abraham, I'm of the opinion, Robert, Abraham had developed a habit of listening to God. He knew God's voice. And I pray that we all develop such a habit to know God's voice, because I'm telling you, mark my words, a storm is on the way. And this storm is of such significance that the spirit of prophecy indicates that it's going to be so terrible that she couldn't even write down what was going to happen. That's how bad it's going to be. So I pray that we can tune our frequency to listen to God and be obedient. Trust him and obey him. Amen. Moses, Exodus chapter 3, verses 10 through 22. Moses was told, hey, Moses, he was a shepherd for a whole bunch of years. And then one day Moses was told by God, Moses, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to go back to that colossal empire, Egypt. I want you to attack Egypt. I want you to set my people free. And I'm going to give you a stick as a weapon. To me, it would have been very easy for Moses to have said, come on, God. And we know the story. Joshua, quite similar. Joshua was told that I want you to take a little old band of believers and I want you to march around this mega city called Jericho. I want you to capture that city, conquer it, totally destroy it, and I want you guys to just keep your mouth shut and walk around the city. If I was Joshua, I'd have said, come on, God. Daniel, we know the story of Daniel. Daniel chapter 6, verses 15 to 22. The story unfolds by God telling Daniel, when they make this decree to not bow down to anybody but the king, I want you to go to your apartment. I want you to go upstairs. I want you to open the windows up so you can be seen by everybody. And I want you to pray to me. And when you do this, after a while, you're going to be captured. You're going to be thrown into a lion's den. But before this event happens, I want you to go into your bedroom, get your finest pair of silk pajamas, put them on, because when they throw you in that lion's den, I want you to find the biggest, baddest lion in there with the big, giant, fluffy mane and go up to him and command him to lay down and take a power nap on his mane. And it would have been very, very easy for Daniel to say, come on, God. And then last but not least, yours truly. I believe God spoke to me through a variety of circumstances. Cancer several times. I laid up right here at Erlanger in the ICU on more than one occasion with a blood pressure 40/20. And when you conditions like that, your mind is running wild. You've got a lot of time to go, woe is me, or Lord, what's next for me? Your mind could range. Anyway, that all happened to me. And God impressed me that he wanted me to build a wellness academy. And I said, God, I don't have any money. I don't have a job. I don't have any skills. And by the way, I'm part of a church with the biggest, baddest hospitals in the world, the biggest, baddest doctors and nurses and Indian chiefs in the world. And you want me to compete with that? And God spoke to me, oh no, I don't want you to compete. I want you to exceed. I said, come on, God. And he wants me to exceed because I don't have any of those credentials. He wants me to exceed. There she is, Carol. He wants me to exceed because he knows I've got to rely, you speakers of mine today, he knows that we've got to rely upon one another. We don't have a bunch of PhDs behind our names. None of my presenters have got postdoctorate degrees, anything like that. So God is saying, because you don't have all these credentials, you all are going to have to depend upon me. And I'm here to tell you, when we get to a position in our lives where we can depend upon God, we're in the majority. We're where he wants us to be. Amen. Do we believe that? It's the absolute truth. So that's where we are today. First of all, this particular meeting is the second in a series of 6 meetings. I believe on the paper, at the very bottom of the paper, make sure you get one, at the very bottom, it says this summit, the next summit is June the 15th. That's the 3rd summit. The 4th summit is July the 27th. The 5th summit is August the 17th. And the 6th summit is September the 28th, all right here at this place. So if the presenters today give you some information and you demand more, just come back next time. Circle on your calendar, because I think the information that's going to be conveyed today is not coming from us. I think it's coming from the throne of God. And when information, welcome Kent, when information comes from the throne of God, it behooves us to be very attentive to the correspondence. Amen. I think we're going to be blessed beyond measure. Now, I'm about ready to yield the floor, but I went to a meeting yesterday. This guy's all over YouTube, all over Facebook. And it was a fascinating meeting. The first 2 hours disturbed me because it was supposed to start at 9:30. And you know, I'm an early bird. I got there before 9. And it didn't begin until 11:30. That's a long time to wait in anticipation. So I was disturbed by that. My military background would have flared up. Had I been a presenter, at 9:30 I'd have been speaking. Whether the crowd was a full crowd or one person there. But that's another matter. But anyway, the guy did a marvelous presentation. And in this presentation, he talked about end time events, the Sunday law, those kinds of things. And I'm not going to talk politics today. I don't talk it at all. But I've had some issues with the current administration about this, that, or the other. That's neither here nor there. But this presentation yesterday helped me to appreciate the fact that President Trump is driving a ship that has been ordained by God to drive so that we can finish this thing up and go back home with him. You hear me? We are teetering on events that Peter and Paul and others would have cut their right arms off to experience. And that's right where we are. And I'm here. Someone once told me that Stevie Wonder can see that this thing is coming to a head. Amen. So what we've got to do is draw nigh to God. What we've got to do is make up our minds. When you talk to when you watch the 3 Hebrew worthies, I love this story because the king had invested a lot of money in them. Years of education. He really wanted them to be some of his wise counselors. And when they refused to bow down, and I'm sure they were urged by their comrades, look, you don't have to worship. Just bend over like you're tying up your shoe. It'll keep you alive anyway. And they didn't even want to have any appearance of disobeying God. So when they blew the instruments and they didn't bow, the king approached them and says, look, you guys, you're my valuable servants. I got a lot invested in you. Perhaps you didn't understand. We're going to play these instruments again. And when we do, we want you to bow like everybody else. If not, you're going into the fiery furnace 7 times hotter. And their response is what I want to get to that fascinates me. Their response, they were very respectful. Their response was, "Oh, King, live forever. We're not even careful how we answer you. You can play those darn instruments all day long. We ain't going to bow down. And the God we serve is able. But even if he doesn't, we ain't going to bow." That's the mindset that we're going to have to make it from this side to the other. I'm telling you, there's a storm coming, a magnificent storm coming. And we've got to make up our minds. Lord, if you want to, because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to confess. I want to be one of the ones alive that see Jesus burst the skies wide open. There's going to only be 2 groups. One group is going to run and hide in the rocks. You can't hide from the Creator. And the other group is going to say, "Lo, here is our God. We have waited for him and he will save us." I want to be in that group. But I've already confessed to God, "Lord, because you can see around corners that I can't. If you see that there's a curve coming up that I can't handle, just lay me to rest. Just get me up in the first resurrection. I'll be content." But the fact of the matter is, I want to be one of those. I want to be one of the 144,000. And we all have the opportunity. Now, we can choose to or choose not to. But I tell you, to be one of those, if God said there's a time of trouble coming that has never been experienced, and we remember all the millions who were martyred, that was a horrible time. Yet the time that we're approaching is even more significant than that. Now that's pretty unique, isn't it? That's pretty unique. But we all have the opportunity. We all have a probationary time. We probably all have loved ones. Now, I'm troubled by my loved ones. I have many of them that don't know Christ. I have many of them that are staunch Pentecostals in their own way. And I'm not knocking any religion at all. But I've got some who are Seventh-day Adventists. But I believe in my heart that a day is coming soon that our loved ones will either be in alignment with us and Christ, or you hear our loved ones when I come home one day. I hear one of my loved ones on the phone. "He's here now. You can come and get him." And I got to take off and run for my life. I believe that's coming. Now, if you believe that with all of your heart, you just can't go around having the norm. We're in a crisis. This thing is coming to an end. Now, I know I need to be careful at what I say because this is supposed to be a cancer symposium. But this is all part of my introduction. So what we're going to do is I believe we got 3 minutes, take a 3-minute break, and then we'll have Sherry come up, and she is going to bless us by sharing with us the connection between cancer and breathing. But let me say this. Because I have a heightened sensitivity to this whole cancer issue, because I had it at least 6 times. At least 4 skin cancers, which is a piece of cake if you catch it early with some products. And bladder cancer, I lost it. My prostate, I lost some intestines. I lost a bunch of lymph nodes. And they took out my appendix, which angered me to no end. But they took it out because their claim was, while we're in there, we're going to go ahead and do it. Boy, that bothered me to no end. But that's the medical establishment. You know, the medical establishment, once you bow down to the medical establishment, man, they're wide open, do what they want to do. Several years ago, I had a leg problem, And so they had to go in. I had osteomyelitis, several bounds of osteomyelitis, which is nothing more than a bone infection. But if it's in the wrong place, it could really be devastating. It could even be terminal. So they went into my lower leg, tib fib area, to debris it. And he said, well, I'm going to go into your knee tomorrow. I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, I am. Do you know that man cut my knee open? And I asked him, what'd you do? It's classified. Well, it's all about the dollar bill. You go into the healthcare system, and I'm fully insured with Medicare, Medicaid, whatever you call that, retired military. So I'm what they call a cash cow. When they admit me to the hospital room, doctors that I've never seen before, they're all coming in there. Well, I want you to do this. They sign their name. They all get a piece of the cake. They all get a piece of the cake. And I'm here to tell you, I think God is a better way. Amen. We're going to talk about cancer today. But the point I was trying to make is this. Because my antennas are up, I'm beginning to get more and more and more traffic. And maybe some of you all here can help me. I don't know. But I'm beginning to get more and more traffic, Loretta, regarding the connection between cancer and parasites. I don't know if any of you all picked up on the radar on any of that. And I'm just in my infancy, but I'm getting more and more traffic, email, tweets, text messages about the connection between, what did I say? Between cancer and parasites. That's one thing. Another thing is I'm beginning to get more and more traffic about the ability of managing disease through fasting. What happens in a fasted state, some of the processes that the body, it's amazing. But anyway, I intend to tap into that a little bit in my presentation later on. So without further ado, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we can use the bathroom, and then Sharon will come up. Okay?